Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. Important stuff we are talking about today. And important because it involves pretty much all of us. I'm talking about cancer. Now, you've heard that word for decades, but it seems almost as if we kind of lost sight of what cancer is, what causes it, what we can do preventing it. She has started that journey with us last week as a doctor of naturopathy, certified body talk trainer, practitioner, certified nutritional counselor, master herbalist. She harnesses the power of holistic living. And last week we learned about cancer, part one, part two, some of the fundamentals, but I've learned a lot. And I've heard that word cancer and even dealt with skin cancer over the years. So great to have her back here. Dr. Jacquilen Tomas Ali is with us. How you doing today?
I am doing fantabulously wonderful. And how are you, Mr. Steve?
I'm good. I'm feeling your energy and it feels good.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome.
So before we dig into cancer part two, going to read the disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
And everything has a disclaimer, and it's all good. And here we go. The information shared with us is provided as an information resource only and is not to be used or relied on for any diagnostic or treatment purposes. This information does not create any client-physician relationship and should not be used as a substitute for professional diagnostic or treatment purposes. Please consult your healthcare provider before making any healthcare decisions or for guidance about a specific medical condition. Podcast Business News Network and Dr. Jacquilen Tomas Ali, ND, owner of Earthly Essence, disclaims responsibility and shall have no liability for any damages, loss, injury, or liability whatsoever suffered as a result of your reliance on the information contained in this podcast presentation. We take a deep breath now and we pivot over, which we should be doing anyway. It's called a cleansing breath.
Yes.
But what we should be doing here is talking about cancer. So why don't we look back to last time we got together? And by the way, that podcast is available online. Just type in her name. You'll find it.
Yeah. And in fact, just to piggyback on what you just said, I've uploaded the information not only on my website, which I'll share at the end of the presentation, but it's also available in YouTube. So if you just look for my name, you'll be able to find all of the presentations that I've done thus far with Podcast Business News Network.
Gotcha. Yeah, a lot of great insight along the way about body talk, herbals, and all of that. And today, as we said, prevention and healing of cancer. So last time we talked about some of the causes of cancer, right?
Well, we talked about, yes, we did. And with the idea that cancer is the number 2 health challenge that we experience that leads to death. Heart disease is number 1. And some of the factors that influences a person having or being diagnosed with cancer is toxins in water, smoking, drug use, unmanageable stress levels and thought patterns, overconsumption of food, alcohol, recreational drugs, and occasionally side effects from medications. And and I also, because I remember you were wondering about the information regarding the genetics involving cancer, and I verified that the genetics percentage is anywhere from 1% to 5%. So even though a person may have that genetic prevalence there, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. And the thing that's so interesting with cancer is that It's not something that you catch from the environment, like it's a virus or something. It's something that happens within us in terms of our lifestyle, involving the factors that I just mentioned in terms of stress and drugs and alcohol, things like that.
I was surprised then. I'm still surprised now about the genetic number being so low. Like many of
Yeah,
us ride on that. Yeah, well, my mom had cancer, my dad had cancer. It's no wonder I have cancer. I would think that number would be a little bit higher, but I've been hearing more and more that genetics play less and less of a role than we realize in a lot of the health challenges that we have.
exactly. And a lot of times it's if my mother had it, if my father had it, because I think I shared with you how my parents both were diagnosed with cancer, is if a person repeats the same patterns that they did that led to them being diagnosed with cancer, then the probability is high that they will get it too, only because of the repetition of the patterns and the habits that led to someone in their family, a person's family, being diagnosed with cancer.
Hmm. So, where do we begin today? Now that we did a
Well,
little recap there.
okay. Now, I let me also say this. If a person decides to have surgery and or chemoradiation, you go with what resonates for you. I'm not going to say don't do this, don't do that, because a person really needs to make the decision based on the information that they are given and just their feelings and emotions involving it. So if you decide to go for the surgery and or chemoradiation, do what resonates for you. But there are also some steps that one can possibly take if a person if a person wants to prevent cancer, and I am a person who utilize this myself, as well as if you've been diagnosed and you want some ideas as to what you can do to overcome it. Here's some suggestions
Mhm.
that can be included in a person's lifestyle. Minimize foods with high sugar content,
Mm.
such as cakes, pies, cookies, and foods with high fats. Now, I didn't
Mm.
say eliminate, I said minimize, because when a person hears the word eliminate, they're like, oh my God, that means I can't have any more. Da, 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 da,
I'm already doing that. I'm already thinking,
da.
well, I don't eat a lot of sweets, but there's one time where I'll have
Yeah,
a candy bar.
absolutely.
But but
Yes.
but but high level of chocolate in that, like 95% dark chocolate,
Uh-huh.
whatever. And then they say that's supposed to be good for you. Wouldn't eat the whole thing, just a little bit of it. But just stuff like that. Just be, I guess it's just mindful. And yes, hearing that sugar is the one of the major causes of inflammation in our bodies, and inflammation
Yes.
causes wreaks havoc in many different areas.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's why I suggest minimize, because there are going to be times when you're going to want that. I eat sometimes myself.
Sure.
But I monitor is if it's replacing a meal or if it's something that I'm having as a snack, and how often do I have that snack?
Mm.
In addition, eliminate alcohol and recreational drugs. Eliminate it.
Mm.
Alcohol now does some people can go the route of just cutting it off. And if you can do that, go for it. If you find that you need to wean yourself away, do it that way as well. until you reach the point where where you can eliminate alcohol and
Mm.
recreational drugs.
So here's the thing on alcohol that, and it's funny because in one side you hear a glass of wine a day is good for you. On the other side, Surgeon General in the last month or so has recommended that there be a cancer warning put on every bottle of alcohol.
No
Oh,
kidding.
this is just in the last few weeks. Not even kidding.
Wow.
So there's some conflict there, but it really it's not good for you. Hey, I love my craft beer. I'm good. However, I even notice it myself as I get older. My body metabolizes it differently. I can have a 2 beers. That's it. And
Uh-huh.
hours, I don't feel anything. Hours later, I just feel off. Like I don't feel well.
Yeah, like,
Kind of like brain fog. Yeah.
uh-huh.
So it's not the best thing for you. And same thing, recreational drugs, enough said there.
Absolutely. And the way alcohol is manufactured today is very
Hmm.
different from the way it was done many, many, many years ago,
You know,
because now it's in just like a mass production kind of thing.
never thought of that. And what's in most alcohol, certain grains, what's in those grains? Pesticides potentially. I
Hmm.
never Dr. Jackie, I never thought about that. And the same thing, even when you talk about recreational drugs, let's go with THC, marijuana. It's not the same as it was 30 years ago. It's way stronger. What
You better believe
hybrids
it.
going on is, there's a lot. It's very different, alcohol and recreational drugs.
Exactly. And rather than trying to say, well, can I not? Take whatever steps you need to wean yourself away until you reach a point, not you particularly, just people who are listening, until you're able to eliminate it altogether. Because unless it provides nourishment,
Mm.
that's the key. Does it provide nourishment?
I'll have you know there's 1% protein in beer, standard serving of beer.
Okay. Okay.
and 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 carbs. About it.
Okay.
About it. And flavor.
All
Uh,
righty.
but yeah, you bring up a great point. If it's you're putting it in your body, it should be doing something beneficial.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, in terms of foods and things that you can eat or prepare, it's encouraged that that a person prepares their own meals as much as possible, unless they are obtaining them from a source that they trust that provides not just healthy foods, but foods in terms of how they are raised and produced. For example, beef and chicken should be free range, meaning that they are out on the fields, the cows are eating the grass, the chickens are eating whatever suits them. Also, in terms of fish, it should be wild caught fish, not farm raised, because many places now serve farm raised fish, meaning that there's huge pools of fish and they put in the pool what they want the fish to eat to make them grow faster. But
Mm.
when you focus on wild caught, that means that they're going out in the ocean, putting their fishing lines out or nets or whatever they use, and they're catching the fish that way so that it's fish that has been cultured and nurtured in its own natural habitat.
Gotcha.
And then also, um, organic produce that's grown in the United States, because the United States, the Department of Agriculture has laws in place that organic farmers must follow in order for their produce to be organically grown, so
Sure.
or labeled organic. And there are some countries that I will go nameless that has picked up on the fact that many of us want organic, and so they'll put organic on their label, but they can't put USDA, and people will look at the word organic and say, oh, okay, but here it's grown in another country, and the laws that they use aren't necessarily the laws that
Absolutely.
um
You can, like, it goes back to, you have to read the package. You have
yes,
to be intentional. It's all marketing ploys. You see, wholesome goodness, wholesome goodness. It almost sounds holistic. It almost sounds natural.
yeah,
What is that?
yeah,
There's
yeah,
there's a great bit the great comedian George Carlin did back in the day that addresses much of what we're talking about. And one of my
ah.
favorite lines from that bit was chocolatey goodness. What does that even mean? Chocolatey? And then he says that means there's no blank in chocolate in it. And it's true. It's all these buzzwords that are used, and to your point, other countries have stuff in this country, and they can get by putting the word organic on it. They just can't put certified U.S. organic, blah 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 blah. But our eyes just
Exactly.
go and see the word organic. Oh wait, well, let me pay
Yes.
more for this. It's better for
Yeah.
me. Hmm.
Yeah. So it's really important that a person really reads the label and know that it's certified organic by USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, because of all the laws that are in place. Now, one of the key things that helps a person either who's been diagnosed or wants to prevent cancer is boosting the immune system, because our immune system is a system that does all the fighting in us, whether we are conscious of it or not. Even with things that are brought in that we breathe in, it's also very much a part of just keeping our body healthy. There are certain foods that are really a boost to the immune system, and those foods are certain fruits, such as avocados, figs, grapefruits, grapes, lemons, oranges, papayas, raspberries. And you know what? What I learned is that even chili and jalapeno peppers are considered fruits because of the seeds that are in them.
And no,
And in many categories, fruits are called fruits because they have seeds. And it's
I'm a grown man.
advisable.
I never even knew that. The stuff you learn.
Absolutely. And it's advised that a person have fruit as their first meal of the day, because that really gets the immune system boosted and started, and then they can do what it needs to do during the day. I remember you said maybe it was the last time that you start your day off with a fruit smoothie.
I've been trying to be more intentional in doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and basically because my daughter asked me to buy fruit.
Okay.
She doesn't eat it or eat all of it. And I'm like, all right, we got bananas are going bad. I got the strawberries, I got limited time on those. And I take them all, I throw them in the bullet, right? Add some whey protein powder, some organic oat milk, and excuse me, maybe a spoon of peanut butter, a little bit of fat in there, but protein.
Yes.
Mix it all up.
Yes.
Love it. It's so delicious.
Awesome. 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 Great job.
And
Great
I
job.
guess we should mention here too that when you're looking at fruit, to make sure you consider the source. If you if you're up for it, if you can afford it, go for the organic, certified, truly certified organic fruit.
Yes.
Unless it's a banana. We talked about that before. The clean
Yeah.
doesn't and the dirty doesn't.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, as far as vegetables are concerned that also boost the immune system, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, kale, mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, reishi mushrooms, seaweed, collards, sweet potatoes. Those are vegetables that really also helps to build boost the immune system. And what I've learned is that vegetables that are grown above the ground, like your greens and tomatoes and things, they should be organic. But vegetables that are grown under the ground, such as your potatoes and carrots, they don't necessarily need to be labeled, they don't need to necessarily be organic.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Ned, thank you for the distinction. That would be
Mhm.
the dirty dozen and the clean being the
Yes,
above the ground where you don't have to
yes.
worry so much about, all of those pesticides.
Yes, exactly,
Good.
exactly. Now, there's also whole grains such as flax seeds, as well as nuts such as Brazil nuts, almonds, and walnuts. And then herbs and spices such as garlic and rosemary, as well as teas such as green tea and black tea.
Gotcha. Oh, I'm on a tea kick in the last year.
Uh-huh.
I love my tea. I've replaced coffee with tea first thing in the morning, and I have a big box of all different types. And I'll just grab, all right, I want the turmeric tea. I want the there's like a detox tea. Just they're so
Yes.
delicious. They're really good.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
now I see
Yes.
they're really good for you, even more than I
Yes.
thought.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Now, that's in terms of foods, and that's very good. But then there are other things in terms of the body that can also help support and help support the immune system, as well as helping the body overcome, possibly overcome cancer of diagnosis. Such things such as therapeutic massage, and then meditation, because many times a person, the part of what causes is the dealing with just the whole stress, unmanaged stress levels. So different forms of meditation, including walking meditation, where a
Mm,
person is walking in nature.
mm.
And then exercises in terms of I think I did a thing about maybe a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, about non-aggressive. Aggressive exercises are helpful too, such as biking or jogging, jumping rope, sports, trampoline, those things, as well as the non-aggressive exercises such as stretching, yoga, both types, any kind, hatha, raja yoga,
Mm.
tai chi, qigong, Pilates, just some of the non-aggressive
And
exercises.
we're just about out of time. I think the bottom line there is stay active.
Yes, but also take up hobbies such as gardening, whether it's house plants or outdoor plants, playing an instrument, golfing, sewing, knitting. Take up hobbies. Have fun in your life. That's the bottom line. Have fun, whether it's traveling, attending classes, workshops, things like that, singing, dancing, laughing, have fun. And that helps to uplift a person's energies.
Sure, sure. And then the endorphins that are released, when you're feeling great, and
Yes,
certainly even the hobbies you mentioned, even gardening, um, you're grounded if you're gardening outside. So the benefits we don't even think of, even
yes,
things that require you to think a little bit more. You might be challenging your brain with a hobby. I know I mess around technical stuff. It's like I look at them like, all right, I got to apply myself on this one here, but it's fun,
Yeah, I
you know.
understand.
No,
I
no,
understand.
no pressure, when you're doing your hobbies because it's for you, not for somebody else. Uh,
Absolutely.
Love it. Better understanding we all have about cancer,
Yes.
causes and prevention, and
Yes.
this is just a piece of what you offer with an earthly essence. How do we connect with you? How do we find you, Dr. Jackie?
My website is earthlyessence.life. Life. Earthlyessence.life.
Thank you for today, and
Thank
also
you.
last week. Again, this is, we take it for granted that people know about cancer because the word has been around, disease has been around for so many decades. At least we're aware of it. Doesn't mean we totally understand it, but with your help, we got it. So thank you for that and for being here today.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm so grateful to be here. And thank you so much for your guidance and your support and everything that you've done to just help make all of this come about.
Oh, well, thanks for keeping us healthy and being a resource. And we'll catch up next week or
All
sometime
right.
soon.
Yes, sometime soon.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.